blockchain applications and get up and running as quickly as possible. Every major technology shift requires a middleware type solution in order to unlock the creativity of creators. If we look at the PC generation, there were operating systems created that enabled, there were the underlying protocols like RAM, CPU, and HD, and it wasn't until operating systems came out that PCs could be launched, servers could be created, and we could really interact with the technology. Same thing for the web. There was the underlying protocols, TCP/IP, HTTPS later on, and it wasn't until browsers were really accessible that social media, search, and e-commerce could come out. We're at the next wave of the internet now, Web 3.0. There are a lot of protocols out there. We see a lot of them here today represented. What's required for developers to get busy with the mission of making the next generation of the internet better for everyone in this world, they need a platform in order to build very rapidly applications upon, and that's exactly what SettleMint does. Looking at a typical blockchain journey, it's an application development lifecycle, so setting up infrastructure, deploying nodes, building an application, integrating that with legacy systems, so bridging between the off-chain world and the on-chain world, and then scaling that to a consortium. So a blockchain is a team sport. You need to onboard other stakeholders into the ecosystem that you're building in order for it to make sense to use blockchain. And then once that's all done, you need a systems admin interface in order to monitor what's going on chain and with the applications that have been built. So for each stage in this application lifecycle, we have a suite of tools, that's our platform, in order to make every part of that journey easy for developers. We support multiple clouds, multiple regions. So basically, pick your cloud, pick the region you want it in, pick the protocol you want to work with, private or public blockchain, choose the abstraction tools for the developers, and click deploy, and in just a few minutes, your network is up and running. From there, template libraries for about 50 different blockchain use cases, including NFTs and DeFi apps, as well as supply chain tracking and so forth. The template library is wrapped in an integrated development environment where developers can work web-based and very quickly develop applications. And the story continues. Basically, the key message for SettleMint is that we are a low-code platform that makes every step of the application development cycle as easy as possible. Some of the clients that are working with our technology already today, they tend to be enterprise. So we're working in the financial services sector quite a lot. Also in the supply chain use cases with track and trace solutions. More recently, sustainable supply chain type use cases as well with companies like AB InBev, largest brewer in the world. Colruyt is a supermarket in Belgium. Carrefour is, well, Carrefour is Carrefour. Also done work in the government sector, voting applications, the 2019 presidential election in Indonesia. We ran a parallel voting application that had the votes of 25 million Indonesians recorded on-chain, results available within about 4 hours, instead of the 6 to 8 weeks that it took in order to do the official tally. So again, one project that I'm really excited about is the consortium that's forming, including Procter & Gamble, Shell, and Dow. These companies are using our platform to build a data exchange platform so that they can exchange information efficiently between themselves. So looking at the market and how it's evolving, and here I'm talking about enterprise blockchain. So this is a study from IDC. The market for enterprise spend in blockchain technologies will have a 44% CAGR over the next 3-4 years. SettleMint is really focused on the industries and enterprise that are really adopting the technology, being banking and manufacturing for supply chain use cases. And we're also focusing on the markets where they have the highest growth rates. So the combination of focusing on the highest growth rates, use cases, as well, sectors, but also the highest growth rate in terms of geography, the CAGR for our target markets is around 67% rather than 44% globally that the market is growing at. There's another second megatrend in the blockchain for enterprise space. You had, starting back in 2017, a lot of the big players had a very clear product strategy. They wanted to offer blockchain as a service to their clients. We see, for example, Microsoft Azure has stopped their product strategy and moved to a partner strategy. So most of these big players are tapping out. They realize that the startups, the entrepreneurs that are in this space can move a lot faster, are a lot more in tune with what's happening in the market. They're abandoning their product strategy and moving to a partner strategy. And in that wave, we managed to start working with Dell, Fujitsu, NTT Data, CGI, Fujitsu started as a regional partnership for the European region. That's now expanded to global. NTT Data is on the same track, and CGI was working with Salesforce as a blockchain as a service provider. They switched to us about 8 months ago. We're now their global partner for blockchain implementations. How do we work with partners? What we do a lot of very proactive business development, and what we give to our partners is the leads we generate, things like AB InBev. We give that to a partner for the implementation. We do that 1 or 2 times, and after the momentum is created, the delivery teams at the partner are trained, then they start to do their own lead generation for their existing client base. And that's where SettleMint takes a back step, or a back roll, moving from primary contact to secondary support. The systems integrators of this world love this model. What it enables them to do is come in with a product, which a blockchain implementation, typically blockchain is one piece of a bigger solution for a client. Our license for our technology covers around 20 to 30% of the overall contract value, meaning they can add on 70 to 80% more income, revenue generation for themselves and services. So that's our model working with partners has been quite successful. They love us for the leads we bring them, new clients that they can add it to their portfolio, and the services that they can grow the share of wallet with those clients. We're active. Got our headquarters is in Europe, in Belgium. We had our first office open abroad here in Dubai back in 2018. We have a center in India that's set up in November of 2019. And then we opened in Singapore in May of last year. So we're growing internationally, keep our core dev done in the R&D center in Belgium for the product, and work throughout the region to support the sales efforts of all the colleagues across Europe through to Southeast Asia. Our product hasn't gone unnoticed. This is the Gartner hype cycle for enterprise blockchain. They have 3 companies mentioned in their deep dive into BPaaS, which is blockchain platform as a service. There's us, there's Consensus, there's Simba, and Kaleido. So they've highlighted, looking at our technology, that it is industry leading and enterprise grade. Having a look at our competitors, I've mentioned a little bit about the trend in the large players like AWS, Azure, and IBM. They're already exiting, shifting from a product strategy to a partner strategy. SettleMint is providing an excellent value proposition to them so that they can feel confident to deliver an enterprise-grade solution for their clients. The other product competitors, there's Kaleido, there's Alchemy, there's Simba. Kaleido focuses on enterprise Ethereum on AWS primarily. They do offer on their website other things, but their primary focus is that. Alchemy is really focused on DeFi and NFTs. So they're providing the same kind of service, infrastructure support, rapid deployment, and focused on DeFi and NFTs. And Simba is our closest product competitor. They've got a BPaaS solution. They copy us with about 6 to 8 months delay for new features that we launch. We just did an announcement yesterday of new features that bring our platform to the same level as Alchemy's. And that's something I'm sure Simba's going to adopt within the next 6 to 8 months. So SettleMint is definitely a product leader in our category. And the partnerships we've built, the client list that we've managed to achieve shows a lot about the quality of the product. So the company was started back in 2016. I used to be a banker. I did that for about 12 years, so I've officially done my time. Started in the blockchain space while at the bank, built a center of excellence for capital markets use cases in blockchain, and realized that there's a predictable set of challenges that every blockchain deployment faces. And I started SettleMint in order to address those and make it easy for everyone else to build on blockchain technologies. We are chain agnostic, so multiple protocols, private and public, and that's our vision to make blockchain accessible for everyone. My co-founder, Roderick, he's the technical genius behind everything we do. He's been in tech his whole career, about 25 years in total. He managed, prior to SettleMint, he worked for a software development company, CTO there, managing a team of 60 people. So our journey has been a 5.5 year journey so far, and we're continuing to grow. And what we're looking for today is an investment to accelerate our growth and continue on the path that we've already started on. Our team is rounded out by a few other seasoned veterans in the space and in their respective domains. We put a lot of emphasis on developer experience. We've got a lady with about 25 years in UX, UI, and now DX as well, so developer experience. that is supporting so she's the head of our user experience department. Our head of marketing comes from GE originally, worked at BNP, so banking. He was a lead conversion optimization guy, and we brought him on board in January this year in order to accelerate our go-to-market and to fill our pipe with MQL. Our CFO has about 30 years experience in industry. He also had his own startup at one point, so a nice mix of enterprise plus startup experience in his background. The team is rounded out by, across the different locations I mentioned, we've got about 42 people today. Some key hires we've made over the last couple of months. One of them is standing here, Sunath. But what we've realized we've got a market-leading product. We've invested in the marketing side, and I'll kind of get into our pipeline in a couple slides. But putting the effort into the marketing effort, professional marketing approach, has really led to a massive explosion in our pipeline. So we brought in a couple of key people to help us to close a lot more deals than we to help accelerate our growth. Our headcount for the next couple of years, we plan to grow quite aggressively. Looking at how that's split by region, we're growth across the board for the different regions we're in, and by role that they'll be filling. A lot of it is focused on sales and commercial profiles. Our product is built. We'll always invest in making the product better and keeping it 2 steps ahead of the competition. But primarily, the investment we're looking for is to accelerate our growth. So marketing spend and hiring more salespeople. I talked about our pipeline. Before we hired our head of marketing, we had a pipeline of about 5.4 million. At the end of August, that was 15.4 million. As of last week, that's 16.7 million. Our pipe continues to grow as we accelerate with the marketing approach and onboarding of salespeople to have those dialogues with clients that we're looking to get. Our 5-year growth plan, next year our target is around 5.7 million. I got 5 on the screen, but it is 5.7. That's going to grow rather aggressively. We are looking for VC funding as we want to invest in our growth, and we expect to break even around the midpoint of 2023. What we've done so far from a funding perspective, our first investor came on board in 2017. That's Medici Ventures. Medici Ventures invests only in blockchain companies. They've invested in companies like Factum, like Symbiont, a lot of the enterprise-focused blockchain companies. They've got about 25 companies in their portfolio. We were number 5. So they came in pretty early in our existence. They liked what we were about, and the team we had already formed at that point in time, so they stepped in. We then switched gears to grants for research. We have the European Commission. They have a program called Horizon 2020, and with that, we got a SME Phase 2 grant for 1.8 million euros. The Flemish government also invested in the research we're doing. They invested, gave us a grant for another 1.56 million. We had a round in January 2020. Our current investor at that time, Medici, participated. KPN Ventures, they're the largest telco. They're the Etisalat of the Netherlands. Their venture team invested in us as well. And we had a convertible note in the fall of 2020 from PMV, which is kind of like the sovereign wealth fund of Belgium. We're looking to raise 10 million today. Not today, but to initiate the conversations to raise 10 million. Of that, we've got 4 investors already lined up. One is one of our current investors. They're going to participate as well. One of the venture team of one of our clients, it's a big global bank. Their venture team is looking into our round. The venture arm also of one of our current systems integration partners is also planning to participate. And we have one new fund already that's interested to participate. So we're looking for about between 4 to 5 million more to close the round. And happy to have conversations with anyone that's here that would like to discuss further potential investment in SettleMint. But how are we going to spend that? I mentioned it a bit earlier. How we're spending the money. It's primarily focused on the growth of the company. More marketing spend. We've got the market-leading product. We just don't have the megaphone yet in order to announce it very broadly to the world. So money's being spent on marketing to get the word out there. We've got the hiring plan on the commercial side, both for salespeople, pre-sales, and also for client delivery. But as mentioned, 25% will be kept for investing in additional developers and keeping our product 2 steps ahead of the competition. And with that, thank you very much, and happy to have conversations with anyone who would like to carry on a discussion.
now I would like to invite Ms. Shreya and Mr. Mayank from our team to felicitate our esteemed speaker.